Why do some things float and others sink? Floating and sinking happens because of a force called buoyancy, which is all about how heavy something is compared to the water or other liquid it's in. Let's break down this concept in bit more detail for kids. When you drop something in water, it might float, that is, it will stay on top, or sink, that is, it will go to the bottom. If an object is lighter than the water, it pushes aside, that is, it's less dense, it will float. If it's heavier or more packed than the water, it will sink. Real life examples kids know. A rubber duck or a plastic ball will float in the tub. A coin or a stone will sink to the bottom. Big boats float because their shape contains lots of air, making them less dense than water. Try this easy experiment designed for kids. Fun experiment: sink or float. What do you need? A bowl of water, small items like a coin, spoon, block, grape, leaf, small toy, and so on. What to do? Guess which items will float or sink. Write down your guesses. Place each item in the water one at a time. Watch what happens. Did your items float or sink? Were there any surprises? Why does this happen? Floating. The water pushes up on the object, and if the push is stronger than gravity pulling down, the object floats. Sinking. If gravity pulls harder than the water's push, the object sinks. Try the experiment with salt water by adding lots of salt. Some things float more easily. That's why people float easier in the ocean than in a swimming pool. This image clearly depicts the concept. Why do some things float and others sink? The image depicts a clear bowl or container filled with water. Inside the water, various objects are shown, some floating near the surface like a rubber duck, leaf, plastic ball, and others sinking to the bottom like a coin, stone, and a small toy block. A curious child is watching the bowl closely, smiling and pointing at the floating object. To enhance the educational aspect, gentle arrows or simple labels can illustrate the push-up force from the water, that is buoyancy, and the pull-down force from gravity, helping kids visually grasp why some things float and others sink. Quick summary. Things float or sink depending on how heavy, that is dense, they are compared to what they are in.